Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. It's time for our Renegade GoBot review. And for this month, we're going to take a look at one of the more neglected GoBots in the toy line. But one that I feel should have been one of them that was one that should have more recognition. We're taking a look this time at Flytrap. Now, Flytrap was released in 1984 as one of the original GoBots, but he would be discontinued relatively early, just barely making it into 1985, due to the fact that he was not a very popular selling character. And a lot of that stems from he really wasn't getting any screen time in the Challenge of the GoBots cartoon. So Tonka's suggestion was to yank him from the shelves. Now, I mean, granted, his appearance obviously isn't going to do much. The orange upper body and the blue legs, and of course, some criticism is thrown at him due to the fact that he has his name tattooed on his leg. But let's not forget, a few weeks back, we did review the Super GoBot Warpath, and he had his name on him 5 times. Yet we don't get anywhere near the amount of criticism on that as we do for this. So it's kinda 2 times, that's okay. 5 times, that's bordering on ridiculous. But yet everybody criticizes the 2-time and on his legs. So I don't get it, folks. But, as you can see, it's not a bad-looking robot. And I do like the nice balance that he has between plastic and metal. I mean, the orange and the blue here, these are obviously plastic. But this black portion in here, and of course the bars for his upper legs, that's die-cast metal. So he is a very sturdy toy. And he does have a fair amount of articulation for a GoBot of his size. Let's see, his head can be rocked to look up and down. We can rotate his arms all the way around at the shoulders. His legs are hinged together at the hip, so unfortunately when you move them, they're both going to move at the same time. But he can independently move his legs at the knee, so he can bend his knees about 90 degrees. And of course you can also adjust his ankles, but that's more for his conversion than it is for anything else. Now, of course, before we move on and do the conversion for Flytrap, I have an interesting thing that I want to show you all. What I'm going to show you right here next to him, yes, it's another version of Flytrap, but this one over here, this is the original Japanese toy from the 1970s. As you can see, they went with a white body on the original toy instead of the orange body. And of course, the original Machine Robo toy had more stickers, as the windows are all done as a sticker. He has stickers here on his shoulders. The one on the left shoulder has obviously worn away before I got this toy. And of course, there's one down here just beneath his chest. And of course, he also has some kanji lettering here on his leg. Unfortunately, I cannot read it. I guess it's a goal I should make next year, is to figure out how to read Japanese. But at any rate, this is an interesting variation to Flytrap. I do think the white color would have been nicer to have retained than the orange color that the American toy has, but the white isn't too bad. Of course, given his age, he doesn't want to stand very well. There we go, that's better. But all in all, this is a rare treat, and I certainly hope it's appreciated. Alright, let's take a look at converting Flytrap. It's a rather simple process. We're going to push this lever here on his back to pop the cabin up a bit, like so. And then we fold the arms in underneath, like so. And we'll adjust the cabin so it sits on top of his arms. Push the head up to complete the front bumper assembly. The legs we're going to fold up at the hip and at the knees to slide over the arms. So make sure the arms are perfectly straight so they'll line up. And then you will fold his feet down. And then here we have the biggest reason why Flytrap was never a popular toy. He's a garbage truck. Yes, this is the biggest complaint that we have over Flytrap. He's a garbage truck. Yes, kids want the sports cars. They want the emergency vehicles. But like their competition, the Transformers, always claimed they were the robots in disguise. If you're going to be in disguise, it means you want to look like something that blends in, and preferably not something that people are going to take a second look at. How many times during your weekly drives out on garbage day do any of you take a second look at your garbage truck? I didn't think so. So, this is why Flytrap is an underrated character. He is the best disguised figure out there. Who's going to take a second look at their garbage truck? Granted, he's not going to learn much by driving around in the neighborhood, but it's obviously a disguise nobody pays any hint of attention to. But then again, this is one that's often ridiculed by the Transformer fans. But need I point out to those fans of the Transformers that in Michael Bay's third movie, Dark of the Moon, the scene in Washington when the Decepticons invaded en masse, one of the first ones to arrive scanned an image of a waste management truck. Hence, so the GoBots came up with the perfect idea 20 years before the Transformers. As for how Flytrap rolls, he's got 4 little dinky plastic wheels. They hug kind of low to the ground. Let's see how he rolls. Surprisingly, rather well. For somebody that's got little itty bitty wheels. Now, of course, for those of you who might be interested, here's the Japanese one converted into garbage truck mode. And it looks a little bit better. The white color certainly is more common among trash collection vehicles here in the United States. Unless, of course, you're going with the green waste management truck like the Transformers do. And, of course, the nearly 40 years of playwear on this toy does help making him have a little bit of a better appearance, because this toy is rather on the dirty side. but it just helps contribute to the look. And of course, this one probably won't roll. No, this one doesn't roll near as good. I think it's because one of the wheels are stuck on him. But after 40 years, what can you say? Since Flytrap has no loose accessories, we'll move right on ahead into my thoughts. What do I think of Flytrap? I believe that he is probably one of the most maligned and misunderstood characters in the GoBots line. Yes, granted, he becomes a garbage truck. But as I stated earlier, if you're going to disguise yourself to blend in, that's one of the many vehicles that would be smarter to become, as nobody pays a second bit of attention to their garbage truck, to a garbage truck going through their neighborhood. Unless it happens to be going through their neighborhood when it's not trash day. But even so, how many of us really give a garbage truck a second look? And as also seen from things like Grand Theft Auto, garbage trucks can take a fair amount of punishment from the conventional weapons that have been seen in those games, despite the fact that they don't move very fast. So I would like to translate some of those onto Flytrap himself and basically make him a tough guy thug. He may not be able to move fast, but he's probably got the bulk and muscle to back up anything against his opponents. Plus, over the years, since the constant belittlement from a lot of the outside fandom, I've grown to like the toy more. I think it is misunderstood due to the fact that people want sporty cars or emergency vehicles. And if that's your preference, that's your preference. I'm not here to sell you on my way is right and yours is wrong. We'll let the politicians do that. They get paid to do that. I don't get paid to do these reviews. All I get to do is share my thoughts with you and hope to encourage friendly debate down in the comments. But I think if Tonka and Hanna-Barbera would have worked together on creating a character behind this robot, maybe he would have been a better seller. So, I think he is basically just a victim of a company that really didn't know what they were doing when they created this toy line. All in all, though, I'm going to put Flytrap in the middle tier. I think he just barely falls short of being a top-tier toy. So, I mean, his alternate mode is a great one, despite the fact that it's not a sleek sports car or an emergency vehicle. But it is a vehicle that is vital to society here on Earth. And that makes him a great vehicle to disguise as and to blend in. The color choices is the thing that hurts him more. As you saw here with the Japanese one being white and blue, that looks better than the orange and blue that we got here in America and throughout most of the rest of the world. His articulation, it's not bad for a toy of his size. I mean, the micro vehicle Transformers barely had this kind of articulation, so he's a step above many of them at the same price point that was available at the time. And since he doesn't have any rubber parts, they won't degrade on him over the years. So, I think he's a pretty good toy all around in general. Now, if only they just didn't put the Flytrap stickers on the sides, maybe he would have been perfect. At any rate, That concludes my review of the Renegade GoBot Fly Trap. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please drop me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and join up in our ranks. And make sure to ring the bell so that you get notified when I post new content. Because I post a lot at random times. Also, please consider sharing your thoughts about Flytrap in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.